How's it going, people? Liberal Hill, bringing you a Impact Wrestling review. My overall thoughts on the show: pretty solid, decent matches, and you got some stuff that moves along storylines to get to Slammiversary. Now, the matches they're proposing for Slammiversary, I know the IWC is going to not probably be fond of, but I'm going to give you my thoughts on them as a whole. So let me take a sip of this Deer Park sparkling water. That's strong. That's very strong. Anyway, so starts off with a recap of what happened last week. The starting feud between OvE and Pentagon and Fantasma, basically Sammy Callahan and Pentagon Dark. Then you had the whole Eddie Edwards thing that's still playing that out, seeing where that goes with Tommy Dreamer. Su Young, I think. That's another thing. Su Young, for being the champion, I haven't seen her for a while, and that's kind of disturbing. Brian Cage and addressing his first loss on Impact to Matt Sydal with the interference of Congo Kong. Let me turn this AC off real quick. Because maybe it's just me and my voice sounds like it's fading or whatever with the AC. So anyway, just a lot of feedback, from last week. So you get into the first match, and it is LAX versus Andrew Everett and DJZ. LAX wins, and they regain their tag team titles. This was, what's the word, bittersweet, because for one, Everett and DJZ had held the titles for like maybe more than a month on television, nonetheless, and it kind of feels like they yanked the rug out from under them. The match was good, a lot of tag team stuff, and I like Don Callis how he was talking about how the new LAX, they can do brawling, but they're more of a wrestling tag team. They have tandem moves. It just isn't like just the old LAX with the street fight and punches and kicks. It's more of tandem offense. They actually work as a team. But still, it's just, it feels as though they just had Everett and Z there. Is that right? Therefore, transitional champions, and you can see there's something there with these guys, and with the belts not on them, I can see them probably moving back to the X Division, or they can stay together and really hone their craft as a really good tag team, because you can see potential there. It's just they've got to bring it together, and who knows. So moving on past that, let's see, moving on. Oh, you had KM coming out, and before you had KM come out, you had Jimmy Jacobs address why, and why did Congo Kong have the perm? Like, this man had the James Brown perm going on. He says that he feels that Brian Cage does what he wants and there's no repercussions, and he wants to show people that Brian Cage is vulnerable, that things can happen to him courtesy of the monster. So the building up to Brian Cage, Congo Kong, Slammiversary, I'm intrigued. You got Congo Kong who took out of this, and no matter what you want to say, Congo Kong has been proving himself as a legit heel monster in the company, and kind of a guy that's really hard to defeat. Then you have Brian Cage. Need I say more? Brian Cage, Kong Kong, the Battle of Mastodons. So that's just classic wrestling. I would hope everybody would want to see that. So moving on past that, you have KM, and KM comes out and says that Impact's all about him. They should call it K Impact. Yeah. Anyway, and he calls out Fallah Ball and he says that you need to fight me man to man, mano y mano, because I taught you how to dress, taught you how to eat. Basically, I retrained you and everything like that. Fallah Bahh comes out and hands KM a note from his fat roll, nutsack, butt crack. What? Where did he have that note, people? Like, and then KM grabbed the note and he's like, then he rubs his eye like, ugh, that's disgusting, bro. Uh, he reads the note and like, I don't know why they're doing this to Fallah Bahh, but Fallah Bahh writes like a 2-year-old. Like, what was that? Like, you need to grow up with it. And then he had Bahh, like, is that, I know there's kind of like his character to say Bahh, but like, is he, like, are they really taking it that far to where after every sentence he says Bahh, let me get a Pepsi, Bahh, let me get, you know, this, Bahh, let me, Bahh, 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 Bahh. You might be pushing it. And let me say this about KM as far as promo. He reminds me of a Miz, like a Miz that was just getting good into his promo. I would say U.S. title run Miz. The guy has potential. Big guy, a lot of athleticism, good on the mic. I think Impact, if they stick with KM, they could have something down the road in the future. So KM reads a letter and says that you'll be wrestling a standby wrestler instead of him. I thought it would say something like, hey, we're going to meet at Slammiversary, no holds barred, or street fight, or something like that. But it was the standby wrestler. But oh, no. It wasn't Super Cop Justice. No, not Richard Justice. It was Scott Steiner. And Scott Steiner beat the holy hell out of KM. Need I say more? Like, I can pretty much just move on. Like, the only surprising part about this match was the fact that after the match, Scott Steiner was greeted with love from the fans. Like, I don't know if that's just how much KM is hated, or how much they hate Eli Drake, or it was something that it's Florida man. Maybe that's the reason. I don't know, but I've never seen Scott Steiner ever since he made this transformation into the big bad. I'm not gonna say a booty daddy or whatever, but I've never seen him get cheered ever. So that was a first for me, and kind of awkward. At the same time, I don't know what they're planning to do with him as a character. Face run, I don't know where they could take that. But anyway, so you get to the Impact Wrestling Slammiversary main event press conference. First, you had Moose speak, and Moose. I love Moose, but I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, Chief. His mic skills, like, you like, for all the trolls that think my talking is bad and like, oh, you can't understand what I'm saying. Ooh, yeah, Moose is way worse. Like, no disrespect, but maybe it's the head trauma from the football playing. But the point of that being said is, if Moose, a very athletic black gentleman with little to no mic skills, if any, can get a world heavyweight title shot and a main event push. Look, Titus O'Neil, look at me, Titus. I know the money's good in WWE, and when you stack all that up, you probably need to come over to Impact so you can regain some of your dignity. I'm just saying. Or any Biggie, we need Biggie. No, Biggie still has a chance in the E. Maybe. I don't know. Does any black wrestler have a chance in WWE? Anyway, so you move on to Austin Aries, and he talks about, hey, you know, Moose, you know, you're great and all, but they talked about you being a former football player. I'm a wrestler. I've been wrestling for 18 years. I'm a former tag X Division champion. I'm the last grand champion because he unified both of the belts and retired the grand championship. However you want to say it, he's the grand champion of the all, grandest work, whatever, belt collector. He's done. He's basically done everything in wrestling because, how do you say it? Wrestling isn't his like second career after he failed his first. It's what he was. It's what he's been doing for all of his life. So that's where they're going. Hey, I'm a wrestler now. I've been a wrestler all my life, and you think you're gonna come in here and take this title off of you being a football player and everything like that? I guess that's where they're going. And they've said this about Austin Aries. Very small guy, cast a large shadow over Moose, and I like that interesting dynamic because Aries, you look at him, if you don't, if you don't watch wrestling, you'll say to yourself, hey, this guy is small. What is he gonna do? Some flippity floppity kicks and some spin dive shit. But then he gets into the ring and he actually tells a story here with the wrestling. He's meticulous with his body manipulation. So at some points, and he could actually brawl like a heavyweight. Like the man has very serious knockout power from what I've seen. So this match at Slammiversary, this should be good. This should be, if they give it enough time, it has potential. I'm very excited for this match. Then moving on, you have, oh boy, this Eddie Edwards segment. Look, for all the people that say, oh, Jeremy Borash and Matt Hardy left, they were the ones that created the whole Broken Hardys thing. They did the whole universe. Bro, this whole work with Eddie Edwards in the Woods and then now his family, it just screams the Hardy stuff. And I know you're gonna say, oh, they're copying. They're doing it so well. Like they've started. It's like, okay, Jerry Bourne might be the head of it, but they kept the people in place that did that to maintain that same kind of quality and storyline in like in the camera work, if that makes sense. So yeah, I don't understand. Like, oh, Jerry Borash and Matt Hardy going to WWE, they're gonna make the Broken Hardy universe. No, like, no. Anyway, so Eddie Edwards comes back to his house, and unbeknownst to him, his home has been completely emptied by his wife, who has left him. And he's described, he looks in the mirror, he sees himself as Sammy Callahan, or was it Tommy Dreamer? I think, did he see himself as Sammy Callahan, or did he see Tommy Dreamer? Anyway, either one of those images work fine. So he smashes in the mirror, and this is like Eddie Edwards. Like, who would have knew he can display this kind of emotion and character? Like, finally, like after all these years, man, I never would have thought I would have gotten this kind of performance from Eddie Edwards on television. Like, I thought he would massively blow this. Hey, what's up, Cat? You want to be in the video P. Diddy style? Dancing all in the video? All that shit. So, anyway, great editing by Eddie Edwards. Then you have a OvE promo to where they talk about how people keep jumping in their business and they're going to make examples of people. So it's going to be, hello, Cat. What are you doing? It's going to be OvE versus Pentagon and El Fantasma. And I think they said something else. Anyway. So moving on. Next match. Madison Rayne defeats Taya Valkyrie. What? Okay, let me collect myself here, because during this whole entire match, Taya Valkyrie knocked the living snot out of Madison. And Madison, toward the end, she had an Insecurity, and then she hit her new finisher, Cross Rain. Like, Madison Rain is the Shang Tsung of finisher. She has, like, now she has Cody's finisher. She has Randy Orton's finisher. She has Madison, who's it? Roxy Laveau's finisher. She has Zack Ryder's finisher. What finisher does she have? She has one more guy person's finisher, but she's hitting that L1 and R1 at the same time on people. You know what I'm saying? So after that weird match ending, Madison gets on the mic. She talks about, hey, you know, I didn't want to be a wrestler. I just want to come back and commentate, but, you know, I had some good victories over Tessa and now over Taya. And Impact told me before I came out here, hey, look, if you can beat Taya, we'll give you one more shot, one more chance to do something memorable. At Slammiversary, you'll be facing Su Yung at Slammiversary. I know, IWC, you're throwing pots and pans. I know, booze, tomatoes. Am I upset with this? Going Madison Rain over somebody like maybe. I understand why they probably didn't go Allie again, because they've already had 2 matches. It'd be kind of overkill. They could probably do Rosemary. They might save the Rosemary stuff for was it Bound for Glory? What's the other one? Yeah, I think it's Bound for Glory. They might save that for Bound for Glory because I heard Rosemary is injured, so they might do that. Who else could they have picked? Wow, Knighthouse business seems kind of depleted. I'm trying to think of, you got Tessa, Madison, Taya, Rosemary, Allie, Su Yung, Kira. I understand. Madison Rain, despite what people may say, Madison Rain is kind of a big name. She's a decent wrestler in the ring. They're trying to be safe here. They're trying to fill a huge arena. And the match should be good between Su Yung and Madison. So we just have to see where that goes, basically. Then, see more. Oh yeah, Conan comes back and he says, "Look, I'm beat the fuck up. King, did you have something to do with this?" King, he's like, "Come on, bro. Blood in, blood out. Gangster, gangster, gangster." And Conan's like, "If you had something to do with this, I'm gonna find out, and you better like jump to a alternative dimension. Hey, I'll say you a shot. Gangster, 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 king, that's king." Yeah, that's pretty much it. So there's some beef boiling in between LAX, and as Don Callis, man of the streets, would say, trust nobody. Everybody's a suspect. Shout out to, the voice of the streets, Don Callis. Anyway, so next you have Killer Kross, the man who's been assaulting people backstage for close to a month or so now. And, he gives a sit-down interview, and he tells the people, look, I did this because fuck you. That's why. That's pretty much the whole promo. Like, he says, some stuff about, fear, using it as a survival tactic. It was a very good promo, but I can't really do it justice. You would just have to go see it. But that's pretty much the gist of why did I attack these people. He pretty much said, I don't need a cohesive story, narrative, or whatever. I don't need to tell you why. I just do it because I want to. I want to hurt people. I'm fine with that. As as a heel, which he's clearly going to be, why the, I mean, oh, I did it because this man scraped my knee and, back in the day. Hey, you coming in? I hurt people because I want to hurt people. I can't be mad at that. So maybe at Slammiversary, Killer Cross versus Petey Williams. It only seems right, like really, like he attacked Petey Williams, and although he did attack other people, Petey Williams was the last one to get attacked and everything like that. So it will fall in line for Killer Cross, Petey Williams, and that could be an interesting dynamic. Petey Williams, Maple Leaf Muscle versus Killer Cross. Like that. That sounds like a good match. So hopefully they do make that an official match at Slammiversary. You got the GNN, GWN flashback. Sanjay Dutt versus Low Key for the X-Men title. Decent match, but I'm gonna skip it. I'm really gonna skip it because there's no point. Pentagon and Fantasma defeated OvE, and look, I'm not okay with OvE just like losing pretty much every match they're in, just so that Sami Callihan can come back and get the after match victory with the back. It's okay sometimes, man, but you, like I said, after a certain point, you can't take certain guys seriously if they just keep losing. So hopefully they get OvE back on their winning ways and still keep building the momentum up with Sami Callihan. So Pentagon hits the Pentagon driver on, I think it's, Jake Chris. In comes Sami Callihan, attacks with the bat, his fist, whatever, and he tries to take out Pentagon with the bat. Pentagon ducks, then puts Jake in the arm thing. Pentagon hits him with the bat, and they all three try to attempt to rip off Pentagon's mask through his eye hole. Fantasma comes back to life with a chair and attacks or fends off OvE. Pentagon, Sami Callihan. All they really need to do is make it the number one contenders match, and I'll be fine with that. So overall, like I said, really solid show. You got stuff moving in place for Slammiversary, and even stuff they haven't talked about. You can see the the position where it's going. So although not like 5-star, hey, you need to watch this show. It's more of, hey, this was a decent show. Give it a chance. That's pretty much what this was. So anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna catch you guys later. Peace out.